What's going on, man? Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, dude. I mean, it is so crazy nowadays. Like, the reason why I love social media is you're only one DM away from everyone. You know, like your wife DM'd me, I got back to her, and then the only problem is I have like 4 accounts, so then I forget like who I'm DMing, and then now like with the general and prime and this and that, and sometimes I don't get notified. Like, so it's kind of hard. But thanks for stopping in, man.
No, thank you.
Cool, man. So why don't you tell everyone what you do and like, you know, you guys have your shop in the Tyler Mall. How'd that all start up?
Well, it actually started off as a women's cosmetics store. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be cosmetics and men's. We added a small section of men to try out. It was during the time where I couldn't find anywhere to go to buy my own stuff. So I would have to risk it online, buy stuff online, risk not liking it and just sitting there. So we're like, let's give it a try. Let's try this split concept of having both products give a chance to both men and women to shop at the same place, you know, and not having the wife drag out the guy or the guy drag out the wife at the store because they don't want to be there. Uh-huh. So we hit it off like that. Just little by little, it started overtaking the women's side more and more. So we were in a small little corner spot inside the mall.
Which spot were you guys at?
The video game store that's in there right now.
Oh,
so that's where we started. It was a very small space, open doors. Very difficult to run by having those open doors. Uh-huh. But, I mean, we had just a little corner of men's grooming. Mm-hmm. We used to call it the gentleman's lounge.
Yeah.
That's what we called it. It was a nice little cozy area where guys would go and shop for their grooming stuff, beard, hair, body.
Yeah.
And then 2019, we got the opportunity to move over to a bigger place and add a barbershop to the store.
Oh, nice.
We were always getting questions of people asking, do you guys do beards? Do you guys do beards? It's in our name, so we're like, you know what? Let's dive into it. Let's try it. And no experience of running the barbershop. My wife just became a barber last year. But it was my job just to learn
how to run the business,
to run the business, and then bring in the right people to actually.
Because culture is huge. Like, you know, before the podcast, I was telling you, like, my ex-fiance was a hairstylist, and for a long time we were talking about open up a shop. And I'd watch her career going from barbershop to barbershop, and it's like, dude, you got to have the right barber / hairstylist in there, or the vibe is done.
That's the thing with the hair industry. It's a very toxic industry.
It's toxic, dude.
A very toxic industry. It takes one person.
It takes one to burn the ship down.
Exactly. So that I think that's probably been the hardest part.
Finding the right people.
Is finding the right people. Yeah. And right now, our shop is a small shop. It's only a 4-chair shop, but it's taken us since 2019 to really fill up those chairs and have really good people. Do
you guys do booth rental there, or you do? No booth rental.
No booth rental. It's all hourly.
Hourly.
Yeah. Having booth rental really, I lose a lot of control
when they come and when they go.
They come and when they go. We're in a mall, so we have customers all
coming
the time.
in all the time.
I mean, it could happen where on a busy weekend the barbers decide, I don't feel like working this weekend, and the shop's closed. Now that'll reflect bad on you guys, on the whole store, and I can't really have that. I want to make sure everybody's experience is the same, and it's the same experience every time they come in.
So you do hourly, but then say someone gets there, like their person, can they book time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything we do online bookings, we do phone. So everybody has their own person they go to.
But if someone walks in, there's always going to be people there.
There's always going to be somebody there.
Yeah.
7 days a week. That's the tough part about being
I know. Normally Mondays, hairstylists are always usually off Mondays.
Usually Sundays and Mondays they tend to close shops.
Yeah.
Those tend to be our busiest days.
Yeah, because you got to look for a spot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So for you, like, have you guys now gotten rid of all the women's stuff?
We pretty much got rid of all the women's stuff. We have a couple of
now you have a women's corner.
We have a women's corner now.
Yeah. How does that feel, ladies? How does that feel? Now you know our pain.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy to think, like, I remember going to the mall. Like, I was young. I was, like, 23 when I met her. And, like, she'd be like, oh, I want you to dress like this. Whatever. I didn't care at that point. I still don't care now. But, like, I couldn't even, like, you go to Forever 21 and, like, you couldn't even get a T-shirt. Like, it'd be all women's stuff. And you're like, dude, I just want a T-shirt. Now I got to order my tees online still. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we're at that point where I have to order T-shirts online.
Exactly. You can't really go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere.
And at the age we are in, it's not like we're just going to walk into a Tilly's or
I'm not going to
Tilly's. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
That stuff doesn't make sense to us anymore. And I think that's like you have like the teens and then you have old man clothes.
Exactly.
The middle range,
we're forgotten.
And I don't want to wear. I'm not going to wear Tommy Bahama either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, what am I gonna do here? Like, but then for me, it makes my life easier because I just order it and then they show up and they're good. But like, like I think the only thing guys have is sneakers.
Yeah.
You can always go buy sneakers somewhere.
Exactly. And I've built this store to kind of represent kind of like my closet because my style of looking, I can't really get it anywhere else where I can walk into the store. Not here.
Yeah. Well, maybe LA.
I could go to LA and find myself a nice pair of boots, some nice jeans and stuff like that. But it's
all the way in LA.
It's out there.
I don't want to drive all the way to LA.
People forget that. I mean, there is people with money here in Riverside. And it's not all those white collar.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of blue collar guys that
want a different style.
Exactly. They make great money. They're dirty all week. They want to look good on the weekend, and they're not necessarily going to go down to Louis Vuitton and Gucci. And
it's hard too. The hard thing that also people don't realize, and maybe it's like even like barbershops. Like I remember like someone's like, oh, who do you go? And I say this I go to, and they're like, oh, what? And I'm like, I just don't want to walk into a random barbershop. Like that's also intimidating as a man sometimes, to like walk into a random barbershop and everyone knows everyone, you don't know anyone, you know what I mean?
Personally, I don't like barbershops. I never
That's what I'm saying.
them. I went almost 10 years without getting a haircut, and my hair was
all the way down there.
I just didn't like the vibe at barbershops.
Dude, it's tough, dude. It's intimidating to walk into a barbershop that you know no one.
Exactly.
And you're like, yo, and then it's like, nope, we're full, we don't have time, you know.
It could be just you walk in and they don't like your look. And
exactly. Dude, barbershops are tough, dude. And so after you find one, you don't leave.
Exactly.
You do not leave. Man, I think we're the most loyal people who cut our hair just because we don't want to go find someone else.
Exactly. It's just the intimidation.
So do you get your hair cut at your spot now?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Does your wife cut it?
Huh? She does, yeah. She does. Since she just got out of school, she's still learning.
Yeah.
Everything.
So she practiced on you?
So she practiced on me.
Dude, we have a lot in common. When my girl was going through school, she would cut my hair in the kitchen. And because she would practice on me, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, I tell her, it's okay. You can mess up my hair. We have 4 other barbers that can go in and fix it.
Fix it, exactly.
That's fine.
So, what made you stop going with the mohawk before what year was mohawk years? Because we were talking before the podcast about me and him are close to the same age, like 98, 99, 2000, where spiking was going crazy, and you would do the super hard gel, and if you don't know this, you're young or too old, and you would just like
it would wreck your hair,
and you would literally just be like the biggest thing, a glob of extra stiff, and then you'd blow dry the crap out, dude. And the higher your spikes were and the harder your spikes were, that was like street cred.
I mean, I give a lot of props to my wife because we've been dating together since we were in high school. So
she dealt with that phase of you.
She would get up an extra hour earlier to help me straighten, blow dry my hair, get it all nice and ready to go.
She was betting hard on you, dude.
Yeah. She's like, this has to
work. You better open a business. You better know your stuff.
Exactly.
So was it a very hard transition? Like even me, like I've been in business here for like 6 years now, and like even something happened yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I hate being a business owner. How long did it kind of take you to kind of get, and obviously we know that it's always changing, but like to just kind of get the momentum going? Because like I think a lot of people want to do what you want to do. They're just scared to do it. It's fear. It's
fear. It's scary putting all your eggs in one basket
and
just leaving somewhere where you're comfortable and it's consistent to go into something unknown.
How did 2020? How did you guys battle with that?
Man,
that was tough.
We opened up the barbershop side in November of 2019. So our momentum
timing.
We were doing great November, December, January. Then the pandemic hit. We're in a mall. It just complete shutdown. We do online too. We're e-commerce. And at that point, we couldn't even go into our store to.
Oh, really? To get the product?
To get the product, to process online orders. Our whole life is inside that mall.
Yeah.
So to not being able to go in there for 3 months when we were closed, it just bills just pile up.
Yeah.
And it's just.
Was it Tyler Mall? I don't know who owns the Tyler Mall and who handles that, but how were they handling? Like I remember my landlord never calls me, and I remember right when COVID hit, I get a call from him, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up? Just want to check in on you. Hey, dude, the rent will be paid on the 1st. Don't worry." He's like, "All right, just want to make sure you don't go bailing out in the middle of the night." I go, "Dude, it took a pandemic for you to actually call me." He's like, "Yeah, I know."
No, it was tough. I mean, we went months without having any sort of income.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
and I think it's hard too. Like, I hate the stigma of people being like, "Oh, you own your own business, you must have money."
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people realize. Like, that's why I try to be so honest. Where it's like, dude, I've been bankrupt 3 times. Where I'm like, literally, like, a check's coming in as, like, you know what I mean? Like, the rent is due on the 1st. But how, if I pay my rent late on my apartment, it's only a $30 fine. If I pay my rent late on my office, it's a $100 fine. Okay, so I'll pay the office, and then I'll try to, like, stall in and then say, like, oh, yeah, I mailed the check out. I don't know what happened.
You have to delegate.
You have to delegate. You have to start filling out what's important. And no one knows that pain unless you're a business owner. And sometimes I freaking hate the stigma of being like, oh, you must make tons of money. It's like, yes, we make a good living, but we also spend a lot of money. Like, it takes money. Like, we just had to hire someone on yesterday on Monday because, like, to just edit these podcasts because my videographer's too busy now. So do we just not do a podcast, or do we pay someone to do it? Like, you know what I mean? So it's tough.
So, it's tough. People don't realize that. And for us being in a mall, people assume,
oh, yeah, you're balling out.
They assume tons of money and everything, yeah. But with the pandemic, I mean, we're still trying to catch up.
Yeah. How do you guys decide what you put in the shop? Is it you? Are you searching around, looking at products? Are you at a point now where people are calling you, asking to put product in your building?
At this point, it's people coming to us. Before it was, we would have to go out and find product that we think would fit. Mm-hmm. It was very difficult because it was a men's and a women's store. So a lot of brands are like, oh, you're a cosmetic store. No, but we're men. I mean, they didn't want to take that risk. The ones that took a risk on us are the ones that are really thriving at our store. But now they come to us. We test it. I have all the barbers try it. Mm-hmm. The retail staff try it. I try it if it's something that I can use. And we go on from there. If it's something that fits well with us, we'll carry it. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of startup brands that go in there, and it's very difficult because a lot of the times you have to say no just because they're not at the spot where they need to be on the shelf. I mean, it's shelf space it's money. It's money, and I can't have something that's gonna sit there for 6 months to a year selling 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I feel the same way. Like, it's very hard to say no to people. Like, I feel bad. Exactly. Like, some people hit me up and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a rental. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, that's like, I make like $40. Like, I just don't have the time to run you around to show you rentals when gas is $6 a gallon to make $40. I just can't do it. Or people that come to me like, hey, I really want to buy a house, that you just don't make enough money. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just can't do anything for you, and I don't really have the time to keep calling you every week. Exactly. If I can't make money. Like, it sounds so jerky to say, but until you're that position.
We've gotten reamed for that before. They're like, oh, you're not willing to help a smaller brand. It's like, I'm always up for helping a small brand, but you have to put in the work to make sure
to get there.
You need to make sure it's at least presentable where it's going to be catchy.
Yeah, like the label has to be right, and I think that's like, it took you a long time to get here, mm-hmm. and those people just got to take the time to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just sometimes it's just spending that little extra money in there to make your stuff look presentable, shelf worthy, where it could be the crappiest product, but as long as it looks good,
pops a little bit.
It looks good to people.
It's like, I mean, it's just like Instagram. Like, if your thumbnail's fire, mm-hmm. people like will click on it, and then
I like to say it's perceived value.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. So then, like, how, like, do you? I know nothing about retail world. So do you guys like buy a certain amount? Like, you go, okay, we'll buy 50 of your product. We'll test it out, see how it goes, mm-hmm. and then if we sell out, we'll reorder. Or is it like they front it to you, and then how does that all work?
No, I like when we buy product. When I pick it up, I want to be comfortable that it's gonna sell. I don't like consignment and stuff mm-hmm. like that. It puts a lot more work into my accounting side too. Yeah. So if I'm gonna bring something on it, I'm pretty confident that it's gonna work. So we'll order a set amount cases or whatever their requirement is, and we'll give a trial run. And it's always told to them up front. I'm like, we're gonna give you say 6 months to see how your stuff sells. If it does pretty well, or we see that it has the potential and is catching up, we'll reorder. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't, then I'm sorry,
you just can't.
We can't.
Yeah. Yeah, has there been a product you really liked? You were like, oh, the thing's awesome, and just didn't didn't pop off on the shelves? Like where you're like, oh, this is totally gonna sell.
It's happened quite a few times. And
Really?
It's a little disappointing because it's something that you really wanted to
do well.
on.
Yeah.
It's just our market is just
not the same.
Not the same.
And that's hard too. Is like market is all different. Inland Empire is different than. I mean, I would even say like Riverside's different than Temecula. Riverside's different than Moreno Valley. Like every little market's different.
We learned that a lot because at one point we did have a store in Ontario Mills right before the pandemic. We opened it 2018, a year after we opened here. We're like, okay, let's try Ontario Mills. It is our home mall. It's something that where we grew up at. Well, let's try it over there. Let's see how it does. And just the market over there is completely different than here.
It just didn't do well.
It did okay.
Yeah.
It was starting to pick up again right before the pandemic, and then it hit. It's just a different market because it's a lot of tourists there.
Oh, because people are going there.
That mall was very split in half. Half the mall is all the locals, and the other half is all tourists. You know, and to get a location that's on the local side is very difficult.
Yeah.
So we were put towards the higher end stuff.
That people are going there and trying to buy up or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if like maybe like Victoria Gardens would have been a little bit better.
We thought about Victoria Gardens, but one thing that really put us off of is the outdoor aspect.
Oh, because if it rains.
It rains, the mall just dies.
It's dead.
If it's way too hot,
it's dead.
It's dead. So that's a very high risk for another very expensive mall to be at. But it is something that's come across.
The people have to, that's the things you have to think about. It's like my buddy Justin, who owns One Love IE. Like we've talked about it. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I'll have to think of a product, and I have to go to New Era and order blank amount of hats, and sometimes the hats just don't do well, and then they just sit there.
And there's minimums that you have to.
Exactly. There's minimums. And he's like telling me the minimums. I was like, dude. And he goes, and it's all we think the logo is going to look. I send the logo to like 10 people. Hey, do you think this? And he goes, then you got to order the minimum. And if it don't sell, you know what I mean?
It goes on the clearance rack.
It goes on the clearance rack.
You see it on the clearance rack. You're like, man, that hurts.
Well, especially because if it's your logo. You know what I mean?
It's our logo. And we have our own line of apparel too at the store. And we ran into that issue where we print stuff, and it's like, oh man, we have to order 50 pieces, and 50 pieces
don't sell. Yeah.
It's just wasted money there.
So do you guys push a lot of stuff online or no?
Yeah.
Like,
so
is it like 50-50?
No, pretty much everything we have in the store is available online. There's very few brands that don't allow us to put their stuff online because they like to be more direct. So, but for the most part, I see 95% of our stuff that we have in store is available online.
Oh, okay. Do you push a lot off Instagram?
We do.
Oh, okay.
Instagram is it's big for us, and just how it's always changing. It's something that we always have to change.
Dude, I hate the algorithm. The algorithm's great for me this week. So Instagram, if you're listening to this, keep the algorithm. It's so funny, dude. Like we'll post something and it'll get like 6,000 views, and then I'll post like a same type of real estate video a week later. I get like 1,900 views, and I'm like, what happened? Like, can we go back to the 6,000? Like, there's no method. Like, in the worst part about it, sometimes the 1,900 was a better video than the 6,000.
Oh, exactly.
And I'm like, that video sucked compared to this one. I don't know what happened, dude.
It's you spend all this time on something you think is gonna be real great.
You're gonna think it's gonna pop, and no.
And it's just like Instagram, just like
Nah, we don't want that.
Not today.
No, not today. Well, it definitely helps that you're in photography. That's the one thing I wish I could do. Like Adrian, my videographer, he's a videographer. He does not do photos. And that's something we need to do a better job moving forward is like photography here, because like it does do well online.
It does.
We just like don't think about it.
I didn't start photography until a couple years ago when we were starting to do this. It's like, can we really afford to hire somebody to do all this content? Yes, it's gonna cost me money to get the equipment, but now learning it and it's something that I really enjoy now. It's carried on to just my personal stuff too.
I just don't have the eye for it. Like I don't see a photo, And
that's how I was, and sometimes I still feel that way because me personally, I don't think I'm a very creative person.
I am not.
And for me to pick up a camera and think about these things, it's spending a lot of hours on Instagram finding inspiration on stuff of what I think would look good and then put my own twist on it. But you start learning and you start catching on and finding your own style.
Yeah, I have I literally, I feel like the same. I'm like, I'm not creative. What am I going to do? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like I have graphic designers for a reason. I can't. They're like, what do you want it to look like? I'm like, I don't know. You're the graphic designer. Make something look pretty. I have no idea.
Yeah, we have our own, our project manager. He he does graphic design, and I'm like, I just have this idea, just
make it. And I'll tell you if I hate it or not. Like I know what I like and don't like. I just don't know how to get there.
And then our guy, he's really good. He knows what we like. So I'm like, here, I just need this simple design. He'll come back with me 50 different. I'm like, dude, you're too good. I mean,
yeah, you're like, I need 2 decisions. Like 50's too many.
You gave me 50 now, and now I have to choose.
Go through all those. Yeah. So are you in the shop 7 days a week or no?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I have to be just to get stuff done. I try to take off a day or so to spend with our kids, because I mean, me and my wife, we both work at the store, so it can be very hard not seeing the kids. You know, our son, he's in soccer now, so
he has a lot of games.
Yeah, so like he has a tournament this weekend, so he has practice 2 times a week. He has a game tonight, and then he has a tournament this week.
So you have barbers there. Do you have like people also running the shop, or do the barbers run the shop?
No, we like to keep the barbers just
separate.
It's just cut hair, do what you got to do. Our retail staff will help the barbers, book their stuff, but the retail staff will take care of the whole retail side of it.
Is it hard? Obviously, like I know the world of like all the like people coming in and having to keep everything like clean, and is that kind of a struggle because it's kind of half a shop and half a barber shop? Like, have you guys come across that problem where you're like, like the mixture of it a little bit? You know what I mean? Like hair getting everywhere.
No, we really done a pretty good job at separating it. When we built a barbershop, that's something we had in mind. So we kind of built a little pony wall around the whole barbershop to separate it. That way we don't track hair
everywhere.
In other places. I mean, the employees are really good at keeping everything clean. The barbers are super clean, and we have to. We're in front of thousands of people that walk.
Oh, for sure.
Our barbers are sitting right in front of the window that people are walking by. So the shop needs to be spotless. So they do a really good job at
which is such a great idea, because you probably guys get so much walk-in business just because people are interested in what's going on in there.
Yeah. And then we have those random people they're standing in front of the window. They come in, it's like, do you guys cut hair? Barbers over here.
No, what do you think we do here? These are models. We're just here for looks. Like, this is Disneyland. This is actually, none of this is real.
I think we don't go a day without people.
Someone asks you,
like, so you guys cut hair here? I'm like, yeah.
That's what they're doing, dude. It's like, you sell houses? Yes, I do. That's what I do.
And I think it's just I was so surprised that
someone would do that.
Someone would do that.
Because are you guys the only hair spot that cut in the mall?
There is another spot, but it's for kids. It's a little.
The kids place by Miguel's, yes.
Yeah.
But that's strictly kids.
That's strictly kids. We do a lot of kid stuff too. Parents that don't feel comfortable going
there. Yeah.
They'll come to us.
Do you feel like the best decision you guys made was just like to go deep on men's stuff only? And then do you think like advice to someone would be like, instead of like trying to be like half men, half women, just like focus on one and become the best at that, well known, and then
I think that's the better way to go. I mean, the concept we had was just to split down the middle, so both parties had a place to shop together.
Yeah.
But at one point it was just overtaking, and then the makeup industry is very competitive. And our mall now, there's like 3-4.
Oh yeah, dude. And then it's like if you're gonna go makeup, you're gonna go to Sephora. Like, you're just gonna go there. You have so many options.
Exactly.
When you think of makeup, you think of Sephora. Like, that's just what you think of.
Exactly. So we're like, you know what? We'll leave that behind. I mean, we've struggled to get our clientele to come shop with us, but now we're starting to see those people that find us. They're like, okay, this is a store that I really enjoy going. The customer service, just the variety of stuff we carry. I mean, we carry hair product, body, beard, accessories, beef jerky.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think men moving forward now, it's like we don't just do the 3-in-1s anymore. Dove 3-in-1s. Like, it's crazy how like some guys still do. Like, I'll have buddies hit me up and or I'll have buddies' wives hit me up. And they're like, "Can you tell my husband the products you use?" Because he's using Dove still. I'm like, dude, you can't use Dove anymore, bro.
We have the wives that bring in their
you can't use Dove. This isn't 2002. You don't need Dove 3-in-1 anymore. And I used to be that guy. I got it. But now, now there's so many options. Like, I saw my best friend the other day. We were talking. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I use this mint body hair and body wash. And he goes, really? I go, dude, you get in the shower, it's hot. You get this good mint smell.
That freshness.
Fresh smell. And he's like, I'll use Dove. I'm like, bro, you embarrass me. We could not be more. How are we best friends?
And yeah, that's how it is. I mean, like I said, we have those wives and girlfriends that push the guys in. Here, I mean,
just take him.
Take him. make him look good, make him smell good. It's he uses a 3-in-1 stuff, and the guys will be red. Like,
do you use beard oil? I was having a debate yesterday with my barber. You use beard oil?
Yeah.
Oh, you're that guy.
It's a daily thing.
Thing. Does it help your beard grow? Like, I got mine trimmed yesterday, but like my beard, if I don't shave it in a month, it doesn't ever get any longer. Like, it just goes like every direction. I feel like my beard has a limit.
People think it's some sort of magic serum. No, it just makes everything more manageable.
Mm-hmm.
It can help make it look nicer and potentially grow better because you're giving your skin and that beard those nutrients.
Yeah.
Those nutrients it need. Especially if you're the 3-in-1 guy that just like
does it all in one. Yeah.
Yeah, it wrecks a lot of your
skin. Dude, my ex-fiance would always be like, it doesn't make sense. I go, what does it make? She goes, you can't have one product, shampoo, which dries out your hair, and then a conditioner, which is supposed to condition your hair. There's no way it can be in the same bottle. She's like, it's impossible. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, there's no way a product can dry your hair out and condition it at the same time.
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense. And I was like, well,
it's all that marketing.
I know. and that's the crazy part too, is like, it's just, I wonder if there's ever kind of a time, like probably not, like where that stuff's like at Target. Like there's a few brands that are starting to get into Target in the men's space, like him and all that stuff. But still, that stuff's like, there's so more out there that people just don't realize about.
Target went really hard into the men's stuff right before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They were really going hard on a lot of the smaller brands, and then I guess it didn't work out for them because they completely.
Yeah, now they just go back to Dove.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And that's the only thing that sucks too, is like if you're there, you're getting your toothpaste, you're getting your toothbrush, you're getting this, you're like, oh shit, I'll just get the 2-in-1. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to like go off and remember to like go get it somewhere else.
Like, we have those guys that like come in and like, oh, I use some beard oil. Where do you get it from? Target. I'm like, oh.
That's not beard oil, dude.
It's not.
So have you since you've gotten into, it's been 5 years since you started this place, have you increased your like hair game, your clothes game? Like, do you now feel like you have to? You know what I mean? Do you feel like, God, even when I don't want to, like I gotta dress a certain part.
Exactly.
I gotta do my hair. I gotta do the beard right. Like if I'm walking into my shop, like I gotta be a walking billboard of it. Do you feel that pressure now?
Yeah. A lot of the time. Now because I'm being pushed towards the camera more.
Oh, and you're on Instagram all the time. Yeah.
So now I have to really. Before I would keep to myself and do my back office stuff.
Yeah.
But now, since we're really going hard into the whole social media, and it seems that people want to see the face behind a lot of the stuff, and my wife and a woman, and they're like, why are you doing everything? So I'm like, well, I guess I have to go up front of the store and do things
and be that guy.
Be that guy, and I enjoy it sometimes being the front. I do have the opportunity to go up to the front and do sales.
Yeah.
A couple times a week just to get away from.
Well, I think that's the thing that kind of sucks. That's the worst part about my job. It's like at the end of the day, you're everything. That's what people don't realize. Like, you and your wife are the business runners. You're the CPA. You're the product manager. You're HR. You're payroll. You're everything. So it's like, dude, like yesterday was a day where I was like, I just sat in front of the computer all day yesterday, and then you get done and you feel like you've worked all day, and then you get done and you're like, I got nothing done today.
What did I do today?
Like, because it's like the hard thing is like you're sending emails out, you're waiting for stuff to come back. Like, we just had to file some paperwork. They're like, oh, it'll take 68 weeks to get an answer back. I'm like, so we literally can't do anything for 68 weeks, what we're trying to do. Like, Yeah. It's like government California, make it quicker. So I think that sometimes you need that space. Like, sometimes for me, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of showing houses because it's just, it's whatever. Especially out in Riverside, they all look the same. But sometimes it's like nice to just get out of the office, go show some houses. That's why I started doing the podcast. I just got bored. So I was like, hey, let's start doing this. And now it's been so cool because like the people I've now met because of the podcast is like, probably like for you, like some of the people you've met in your shop that are your regulars now that you would have never met. And now they're like, yeah, what's up, dude? Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. It's really nice having those interactions with those people. It's just meeting new people. Have you guys great at, you and your wife, balancing like when you go home not talk about work, or is it 24/7 with you guys? We try every so often, but it's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot going on in the shop that sometimes it's hard. Funnels over. It funnels, and it's very hard to
shut it off.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. I don't think people realize like, there's so many times you're just laying in bed at night and you just can't turn your brain off because you have a million things going through your head about work, and you're like, oh my God, can I just take
You close your eyes and it feels like you just didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Back at it again.
Back at it again. Especially like, I mean, I think we couldn't work for like 2.5 months, you know, and it was like, what are we gonna do? Like, I was literally like, what are we gonna do? Like, we can't do anything right now.
And the tough part for us is that our daughter was born the week we went into lockdown.
Oh.
So it was harder, but it also gave us the opportunity.
The time
to
to enjoy it.
At home with her. But, I mean, we would have enjoyed it more if it wasn't going on because of the stress of, you know, how were we going to move forward and pay these bills being closed with another child. You know?
Do you being a small business owner, do you struggle? Do you feel like you get the support from the people around you enough or no?
Yeah. It's like my mother.
Yeah.
She takes care of the kids for us. My grandmother too.
It takes a tribe. You know what I mean?
I mean, that business, it was started with me, my wife, and my mother. Before, it was my mom and my wife running the store, doing the store stuff. But when the new baby came along, the pandemic came along, there wasn't really enough money for everybody to go on. So my mom decided I need to go get another job.
What pulled you into the business? So it was your mom and your wife that was running it. What pulled you? Because you were doing, working with your father-in-law?
Yeah.
My dad. With your dad.
Uh-huh.
You're working with your dad, fixing trucks and stuff. So what made you go, I'm going to leave this, which was probably a hard conversation to have with your dad. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Dad, I'm going to quit, and I'm going to go do this. So I'm going to leave you high and dry, but I'm going to go help Mom and my wife. We're going to run this. What finally pulled you into it?
Well, when we decided to start the business, we're like, okay, you guys take care of everything store-wise. I'll help you guys with all the accounting, the bookkeeping, the back-end stuff.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off of you guys because I already knew how to
do that stuff.
So I'm like, I'll take care of that. You guys concentrate on running the store. It's something that I could have done that I was doing at home after work or taking a couple hours here and there and do it for them. But opening a second store, us growing, it's just I needed more time to do that stuff. It just wasn't enough time that I was having before. Do you
feel like if you could go back, you would have not taken the second shop? You grew too fast or no?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Uh-huh.
It's something that it was just too much for us in the
beginning. One time, yeah.
Especially with the pandemic. If the pandemic didn't hit, we probably would have been
okay.
We would have been okay, and we would have excelled. It's just that pandemic came at a wrong time.
Dude, I think the one thing it taught me in the pandemic was like, are you in, like, even right now we're going into a weird housing market. It's like, are you healthy enough to go through a hard time? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's what COVID taught a lot of people. Like, all the restaurants that were like they were okay, they weren't great, and they were making it. Mm-hmm. Those but like the nice good restaurants were good. But like everyone, it kind of showed you like if your business wasn't healthy
to begin with
before COVID, if you weren't healthy going into 2020, the pandemic showed you that you weren't healthy. You
weren't ready.
You weren't ready. It showed you you weren't stacking cash the right way, or your product wasn't good enough, or your food wasn't good enough, or
exactly. And we were still fairly new. We started in 2017, so we were barely starting to find our rhythm, starting to bring in some cash to live off of. And then the pandemic just.
Do you guys? I mean, you don't have to ask a question. Do you W-2 your guys' self off the company?
We have to. Yeah, we are a corporation.
You're an S corp.
Yeah,
and then you W-2 you and your wife.
Yeah. It's the right thing.
It's the right thing to do.
The right thing to do. And then being from the barber industry, it's.
Dude, trust. Yeah, like my loan officer, he's like, you might be the most well-qualified realtor I've ever met. I was like, why? He goes, you actually have an S corp correctly. You W-2 yourself correctly. You file your taxes correctly. So you do have to pay your taxes. I was like, yeah, like I don't want to get audited.
Yeah.
I do not want to get audited. That just sounds like the most miserable thing in the world is get audited. And then two, it's going to catch up to you sooner or later.
Exactly. And that's where we had a really hard time is hiring barbers is because they wanted that same freedom that they had.
They want an independent contractor. They want to be 1099.
They want to be 1099 and have their own rules and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. I was thinking about it and I started asking barbers. I'm like, okay, you want to be an independent contractor here? Do you have your own license? Do you have your own insurance? Do you have your own resale license? No, they're like, why do I need that? I'm like, well.
Because you do.
You're your own boss, so
yeah.
I need all that for me.
To protect me.
To protect me. I'm like, my insurance is going to want your insurance in case you do something wrong.
Uh-huh.
You know? The city's going to come in here and they
want your business license.
Exactly.
It happened to me, man. I got audited. I got audited with one of my videographers because he was a 1099 employee, and pandemic hit, whatever. I didn't need 2 guys anymore. Like, we weren't going out, so I was like, dude, I'm sorry, like, I can't. He filed unemployment, said he was working for me, and so then this California audited me saying he was a W-2 employee, and he's like, I was like, dude, there's, and I know the ABC rules, and I argued it, and I actually ended up winning, but they're like, well, he doesn't have a business license. I'm like, that's not my problem. That's his you should be going after him to have his business license. I have my business license,
Exactly. And they're always going to go after the bigger fish.
Oh, always.
All the time.
Always. I remember when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden I get a call from the city of Riverside. They're like, hey, we've been charging you wrong on your business license tax. I'm like, shocker. All of a sudden, you guys got a little free time in your pocket. Now all of a sudden you're calling me, trying to get more money out of me. It's crazy, dude.
I know. It's just
it's so many little things, dude, that just add up. This business taxes, or I swear, like, every time I turn around, I feel like the IRS is hitting me up for more money for something, and
it's like, oh, we forgot to charge you.
Yes, all the time. How's that? And then it's like, I swear, it's like, we forgot to charge you, and it's due tomorrow. Like, what the? And if you don't pay tomorrow,
or the one that gets me is like, oh, we forgot to charge you these 8 cents from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's your bill for 8 cents and 10 cents of interest and penalty. I'm like,
exactly. I know. Why do I always get hit with the penalties? And then to try to figure out how to pay it online is like the most difficult. I have to literally, I just screenshot stuff, send in my CPA. I'm like, what form do I don't even do any of this. I have no idea.
They do it. I feel they do it on purpose.
100%.
Make you late on purpose.
Oh, dude. And like, I literally paid one, and then like another week I got another like $2,000 bill. I'm like, what the? I send it to my tax. He's like, that's the same bill from last week, but this and that. He's like, don't pay that. You just already paid the first one. I'm like, what if I didn't have him? I would have paid 2. I wouldn't even known. Yeah, and I doubt I would have got my money back.
Yeah, that's probably where the CPAs really come in handy.
Oh, dude, I just push. I already told him, like, can I just get all my mail sent to you so I don't have to deal with it?
Yeah, I hired one last year, and I'm like, here,
just take it from me.
I'll do all the booking. Just tell me what you need.
Do you do your own payroll or no?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, how do you do that, dude? I only have 4 employees. I can't handle it.
It's difficult. It's like you have to meet that deadline of submitting, and I try to make everything as easy as possible. Like, I try to automate and put everything online, like if I can. Like, all of our time clock, payroll, everything's done on an iPad. So
yeah.
They clock in. I send the hours over to my payroll software, put that in, and pay them out.
Go out. How was I assume you've had to fire someone.
Yeah.
How did that? How was the first person you ever had to fire go? Which I want everyone to know, it sucks.
It sucks.
Even when that person totally deserves to be fired, it still sucks.
Yeah, I haven't had to fire a lot of people. I have a lot of people quit on us because they couldn't take the job. But it's difficult. I mean, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I know, but it's like, I tell people all the time, like, it is not easy to have to fire someone.
You still feel that guilt.
You feel that guilt, like, oh,
you feel horrible.
You feel horrible.
You feel horrible, and people are like, oh, no, you fired him, you don't care. I was like, no, I do care, but it's something that's like,
it's me or them.
It is. It's like, if I don't get rid of them,
it's going to bring the ship down.
It is.
That's a big mistake I made in this office. When I was young, I was brand new. I totally grew too fast. This place was way too expensive for me. I was an idiot. I was like 30, and I had some people in here that had bad karma. Like, not bad karma, it was a bad energy, and I didn't fire them because I was desperate. I needed their money. I needed them to close deals so I could pay the bills. And now I look back, I'm like, I've now swore to myself, at no time will I ever need someone to pay the bills here. Because I never want to be put in that position again. It's
tough. It's like, when we hire somebody, it's a whole team effort, because we need to make sure they mesh well with the rest, especially the barbers. So, like, the shop manager for the barber side, he'll conduct interviews for the shop, and he'll take it to the rest of his staff.
His crew.
What do you guys feel about this person? What vibe did you guys get when they walked in? Then we'll do more interviews and make sure that we can find somebody that
fits. Yeah.
Because I had some bad apples.
Yeah. I know it's hard too for you. You have like such a style you're looking for. So like, that's the only thing too, is like, you have to be a barber, you have to mesh, and you have to fit the look that we're trying to get in here.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not, and we have a very wide variety of people that go in there. So we have to make sure that whoever we hire
can handle
all this and not discriminate.
Yeah, dude, it's tough, man.
Because that's really big in the barbering.
Oh, for sure. Like we were talking about earlier, man. I've walked into shops like it was. So I used to work on a job where I was always on the road, and I'd have to people my girl hated that. Or my ex-girlfriend used to hate that I used to go to Fantastic Sam's. Like she was so anti Fantastic Sam's, so anti super cuts, whatever. She's like they cut terrible. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going into random barbershops in random towns. Like they're not welcome. Like they don't want. I'm some kid from California. I'm in the Midwest. They don't think what are you doing here? And trying to get a haircut, dude, it's hard.
It is. Like I said,
it is a world that people don't understand.
Like I said, I went 10 years without getting a haircut because I didn't like going to a barbershop.
Dude, I could never imagine. How was that handling that hair, dude?
It was hard.
I would say, dude, my barber has hair down, and I always tell him, I was like, dude, how do you manage that stuff, dude? It's so difficult. It's hot.
It was down to.
It's hot.
To here, it's hot. it was curly. It
was
frizzy. My hair's really curly, so I was going through.
Dude, how'd your wife stay with you, man? God bless her soul. I don't know. I've never met her before, but god dang, good for her. First went from the spikes to the long curly hair.
I think I used more hair product than she did.
You're like, honey, we have to cut your hair. We just can't afford your hair bill anymore. We cannot afford. You know what? Forget it. We'll just open up our own hair salon with product, so we at least get it at cost.
Exactly. Going through a bottle conditioner every week.
So is that? Do you have to deal with people wanting you to hook them up with product all the time?
Oh, yeah. I get the people that come in. They're like, "Oh, I know the owner," and I'm like, well, I don't know who you are. I'm I don't like being, rude, but it's like you can't come into a store. You don't go to Macy's and ask for a discount,
For sure.
It's like we try to do everything correctly because we want to treat everybody.
Yeah. That's like when people come to me. I say, you don't go to your doctor and ask for a discount, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
I tell people all the time, I'm handling the biggest asset of your life. You don't ask your doctor for a discount. You don't actually ask your doctor how much it costs. Or even a lawyer. A lawyer, you don't really ask him how much it is. You just go hey, I'm in trouble. I need your help. Fix it. Exactly. I think that's kind of the same thing, but, well, moving forward, obviously 2022, we're not halfway through, but what's kind of on the horizon for you guys goal-wise as a business?
Eventually, we do want to move out of the mall, have our own
shop,
a bigger shop, that we're not paying an astronomical amount of.
Oh, I don't even want to know how much it is there. Is it a triple net lease? That's a nerd question to ask, but
it is.
Okay, yeah, we're triple net lease here too, but it's sometimes question the decision I made to come here.
Same with us. It's when we went into the mall, we're like, okay, we are new. This is a new concept. We are gonna pay more to be at a mall,
but you get foot traffic.
But we get the foot traffic. We can build up that clientele, those customers that we hope will follow us when we move out, instead of having to start at a place where you get no foot traffic.
Yeah,
you're gonna struggle a lot more. It's pick your poison, really.
Well, and the hard part too about Riverside, it's I try to think maybe. It's where do you go? The plaza? You know what I mean? Do you go where? There's not too many spots in Riverside that are
I've looked everywhere. I've looked here downtown, Brockton Arcade.
Yeah, Brockton Arcade would be you know what I mean? It's tough.
It's tough, and I need a fairly big space to do what we want to do, because we have retail, we have a barbershop.
Yeah,
I want to do a bigger barbershop.
How many chairs do you want to get? Because you got 4 right now, so
4. I want to do between 10 to 15.
Yeah.
It's just I want a massive shop, that way it's always running, It's people coming in consistently.
Coming out. Yeah, because I bet that helps the vibe of the shop.
It does.
If you walk in and people are always getting their hair cut or beards done, and people are walking in, that vibe fills it a lot more.
Exactly. We want people to come in and shop, get their hair cut. We've thought about possibly adding some sort of coffee shop inside the store too. Is just
not enough space.
The space is what gets to us, and then we need office space for
you guys. Yeah,
for us.
Because is there a big back end? Is there a back? You have a lot of back end storage in that place or no?
We have a little bit. it's usually where my office is at, my product guy, and I have a small little photo studio where I do all of our photography for the store. So eventually I would want somewhere that has
bigger.
Yeah. Office space, photography space, studio space, and to be able to do everything, because we did 2021 last year, we did start another company, a pomade company.
Okay.
So we were like, we need to do something else to to help us, continue forward. So
you gotta get different streams of income.
Yeah. So we decided to launch a pomade company too, that it's sold in our store and then across the country too.
Was it a product that you guys created, or did you buy it from someone?
No, we created it from the ground up. We decided to go that way because we're like, we have the knowledge of all these brands in here. We know what people like, what people don't like. Let's come up with something that our customers are really gonna enjoy. Because a lot of the brands are very biased to what they want.
Exactly.
They don't care what anybody
no one else
wants.
Yeah.
So we can see everybody's complaints there
of what they don't like and they do like.
And we decided to get all the information and put it
together. How's that going?
It's going pretty well. It's growing. We did launch it in a difficult time, but I mean, it's moving. It's going there. We're probably about 25 shops across the U.S. and a couple overseas.
Nice.
So it's another place where it takes up time.
Takes time, dude. I think that's something I have to remind myself all the time. Is like, it just takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time, and then when I'm seeing people that I'm around be at a level, I have to remind myself, like, okay, they've been doing it 8 years longer than I've been. Exactly. They're older than me. It's hard, dude. You have to, because you see where you want it. You have a goal in your head or a dream or whatever you want to call it, and you're like, I just want to get there. Like, exactly. Just want to get right there. You know what I mean? And it's like,
why am I not there yet?
Yeah, exactly. And then you look around, you're like, what? And then you have those days where you're like, I did nothing. Like, I worked all day and did nothing. Like, I got nothing completed today. Exactly. Like, that is probably my big. Like, I write to-do lists, and it's like, I'm like, God, I crossed off 4 things, but then I added 7. Like, it's like,
and it's tough, especially when you have a business that takes a lot of time, and then you go ahead and get yourself into something else.
Yeah.
More time.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, it's even like this, like the podcast. Like, I'm like, oh, great. Well, we have that. Okay, that's an hour of the day. That's this. Okay, well, we got 1 more. We have 3 this week. We have that. And then it's like, you also have to sell houses. Then you have people coming on board, and and then it's sometimes you get that anxiety. I fight that. That's my struggle. I get the anxiety. Like, I had a little. I don't get anxiety attacks. Like, I don't like where people break down. But like yesterday, like I get antsy. I get very antsy, and then you're married with kids. I have a girlfriend, and she has kids, and then it's like there's some moments like, I wish I was just single. I could just work. I could just get all my stuff done. I wouldn't have to worry about anyone else. You know what I mean? Because you're just so antsy because you just know that to-do list is like going farther and farther and farther. And until you can get those things done, you can't.
And it just keeps getting longer.
Gets longer and longer.
Like having a business, I never knew that anxiety would be
yes.
there. It's just like I never thought myself to have anxiety, but
it's there. So do you like my feelings like that, like antsiness from so do you get anxiety or do you get like the antsiness?
It's the antsiness.
It's a feeling that only people that do what we do understand. Exactly. Like it's like if you told anyone else, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
like,
it's because people say anxiety. It's like a whole breakdown, but it's not.
No,
like we're having breakdowns. It's just the stress and the little things that just like. What
and then you're like,
I
I just want to quit. Like yesterday, there was like maybe like a 5-minute moment. I was like, I'm burning this place down. I'm done.
10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go back in. I'm just gonna burn this place down. I'm firing everyone. I'm gonna go move my podcast room to my office or to my apartment, and I'm just gonna be done with this place.
Exactly.
I know I think my next move. So I just signed I've been here 4 years, I think, and I just signed another. I think I have 2 more years on my lease. I think after that, I think I want to go to like a warehouse, something cheaper.
That's
something cheaper. Something cheaper. Something where I could have like I want to have a place. I want to have an office where we have like a golf simulator that people can come and just hang out and just have an office / kind of like not like a man cave, but like a place where it'd be easier to throw events. Like I thought this place would be great to throw events. It's just the parking's difficult. Like this office is nice size, but it's still chopped up. Like I want like just a big open warehouse where you can like raise the door up, everyone, tons of parking, and you can just throw events. And
that's exactly what we're looking for, because we like events, but,
Yeah.
but the mall's very strict on
Oh,
how to do things. I like bringing in these little vendors that come and do pop-ups, or do some sort of like how they do the art walk here.
Yeah.
Have a lot of friends that are small little vendors that would be nice to give them a place where they can go in and show off some of their stuff too, and also have education events, because we do a lot of education in our shop too.
Yeah, but you can go bigger.
We can go bigger.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be having a haircutting class in the next couple weeks.
Oh, nice.
We can only fit so many people, and with having this extra brand that we're really concentrating a lot on education, it's just we need
more space. And space is expensive. And then hopefully now you guys are at a position where you don't need to be in the mall.
Exactly.
Because you don't need the walk-in trap anymore. But yeah, I think my next move is gonna be a warehouse.
Same. That's
I'm over. I don't think I need the sexiness of being across from the Mission anymore. But because especially now we don't do Festival of Lights anymore. Festival of Lights was really big for me because people would stop by here when they're down here. So that's now gone. But I just want a big warehouse. I'd probably pay the same amount of money for 5,000 square feet that I pay for 2,000 square feet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I could have way more space, way more events.
And it seems that people like that vibe now. Very industrial vibe.
The industrial vibe.
I like
Dude,
that vibe.
well, the reason I got it was I went and saw a buddy of mine in San Diego. It was a warehouse-ish, office warehouse. I walked in, dude. It was the coolest, modern office I've ever seen I was like, can I come live here? This place, it had a conference room, but then the conference room was all glass doors. They had the California sliders. He's like, yeah, you slide them up when you want to just have an event. You can close them up for a meeting. They had this big old couch, and it was high ceilings and huge kitchen. They had 2 cold brews on tap, and they had beer on tap. And I'm like, I'm coming here.
And see, we think the same way. And again, it comes back to that we're in the same age group. This is the stuff that we like, and that's the places where we want to hang out.
Exactly.
At. We don't really want to go hang out at a Starbucks or and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. And then too, for us, and probably for you guys, it's you want people to come to the shop and they'll hang out and they'll probably buy something.
Yeah.
It's all about just staying in front of people as much as possible.
And I tell people, yes, we're a store, we're a barbershop, but we're selling products, but at the end of the day, we're selling an experience.
Yeah.
A place where you can go get your hair cut, get some beef jerky, get your hair product, and maybe get a shirt. It's all little in one of all men's necessities. We don't necessarily just serve men, but I mean, it's what that type of person likes.
But it's funny, the women are loving you guys. Because you're increasing men's game. That's you're increasing the man's game. So any women out there, you just slowly walk by the shop and just say, hey, let's check this place out. And then just bring them in.
You want your guy to look better?
We're going to get good product. He's going to smell better. He's not going to have dry hair. You know what I mean?
That way you have a man that you want to show off.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing now. It's you have to be kind of fancy.
You do. You don't have to be...
You don't have to be lined up with Gooch and Louis and stuff, but have your hair on point. I didn't do my hair this morning because I was running late, but hair on point. Your beard trimmed up, have a little product in you, smell a little good. You know what I mean? And life's better that way.
Exactly.
And if you're a single man out there, step your game up. You know what I mean?
We have everything.
So if you're a single man, go by the Tyler Mall. Check out my boy. So thanks, man, for coming on. It's always great hearing the epic stories of small businesses, man. I just think that's some reason why we started the podcast. I don't think people realize a 5-year journey. First off, you fought the odds being open 5 years. Congrats on that. Plus through a pandemic. Plus opening up another thing. I think guys like us are stupid. We just we're dumb. We can't just chill.
It's what do we get ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. You're I'm so stressed out. Let's start another business. Let's start something else. Yeah. Let's start this. Let's start that.
And the wife's like, hey, I have an idea. I'm like, well, let's do it then.
Yeah. And so it's just crazy how it's awesome to see the same traits make everyone successful. And it's the same thing. Work hard, be consistent. You're going to go through some hard times, fight through the hard times, and really take action. Like that. We have an idea. All right, let's do it. Not you don't spend 6 months because it's like we were talking about earlier. Fear stops everyone.
It does. If you're scared of doing something like that, it's just you're not really gonna go anywhere. You're gonna be stuck in the same. You're always there's always gonna be failures. You're not gonna be good at everything, and there's always gonna be things you don't succeed at. But you tried at least.
Listen, all you gotta do is hit like 1 or 2 home runs in your life.
Exactly.
That's really I look at it. I'm like, if I can just hit 1 to 2 home runs and a lot of singles and a few home runs, and I'm gonna strike out, but I'll be just fine.
Exactly.
So, guys, make sure if you're in the Tyler Mall, stop by, get some product, get some clothes, get your hair cut, and thanks, man, for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, guys. Peace.